Mordex, who has never been a bad option in competitive. Just not. Ever since it's been solidified by Sansom in the past, I always feel like you can't go wrong preparing a Mordex for competitive play. And Phazon has his own specific brand of it here going into the HBO Omen Oasis Championship here in North America. And we're on small Brawlhalla, meaning that I suspect Phazon did not let Cosolix have his way for Demon Islands. That is a smart start to this set.
I think it's going to work out great for him. Of course, this is the final qualifier for top 4. Ooh. So you want to make sure that you get the biggest bang for your buck. Already is starting off. Good side sit coming out from Cosolix, knowing exactly where Phazon was going to be. And especially on a stage like small Brawlhalla, the fact that Ulgrim takes that step forward on that side sit means he's able to cover a lot of space with that move.
Yeah. Cosolix has been catching landings with it so perfectly. The downlight burns Phazon on the way back down. Side light gets that strong hit, doesn't kick him up for the combo, but instead just tries to get the force. Cosolix gets the Sarah, however, dash jump forward, then dodges back. New lance picked up, already had it primed. Cosolix gets the cider. The neutral sig. He is just destroying him.
Cosolix is looking like the best player in the world right now. I'm like, this dude isn't losers. What? This dude isn't losers, you know, like he is playing so good, and Phazon is on the verge of potentially getting 3-stocked by, I can't believe this.
I mean, like if I look at their crazy long record, lifetime record, Cosolix technically has favor. It's 5-2, but at this point I'm looking at them as two new players.
Though?
I'm looking at them as 2 new players at this point, because the way that they're playing is just so different. I mean, it's still, the play style is the same, but just how good it is. Now, so Phazon starts to fight back. Cosolix really putting out that movement. And I'm telling you, out of every player that I've ever talked to in person, right, Cosolix is the only one who if I asked him a question about a specific point in time in a match where he did maybe 3 bits of movement, he could tell me exactly why he decided to do that 2 minutes before he did it. Right? That is how calculated he is with all of the options that he's choosing. He is just getting it right every single time.
Well, Phazon, bro, yeah, you know, like Cosolix just, he steamrolled him, dude. Like that was a very quick game 1, as games on Brawlhalla tend to be a lot of the time. But like that was fast even for Brawlhalla. Like he cleaned up.
Yeah, and so that's like a danger of getting rid of Demon Island, I guess. Like, sure, Cosolix can't do shenanigans on the ledge, but small Brawlhalla still has no platforms. The neutral game is fundamentally the same. Just the rate at which you lose your stocks is a little bit faster.
Oh, man. And I wonder as well, because it's like
almost a 200 damage lead.
The scythe is going to be super useful. I mean, I think on a stage like Demon Island, even just because you don't have the small edge, so you can go ahead and yank him. But I mean, it's, you know, the striking is decided by the seed as well, right?
Yes,
so then, like,
you
know, it's going to be one of those things as well where Phazon has had a little bit better of a track record.
423 damage on the lance, 39 with the axe. Okay, so like he proved he has the axe, but really, like that's Cosolix. That's classic Cosolix right there. And Phazon. We talked about all the different legends that Phazon showed in the past, and immediately after that game 1, didn't even want to give it another try. He recognizes, okay, let's try to give the Val a shot against Cosolix here. This is a classic matchup between these two. Now off of the Mordex, wanting to focus on the gauntlets and the sword.
Yeah, and the thing I love about this is that, like, Phazon's good, right? Like, there's no doubt about that. Beautiful Ensig almost potentially has a gimp here. And then the reversal, everyone's going to be coming out of this one alive, I think. Question mark. Oh, wait, hold on. It's going to the other side. Charge that boy up. You get ground pounded again to the other side. You're going to charge it up one more time and get ground pounded. He goes to the side. He can side air. Ground pound. He doesn't get it. He doesn't touch one. How did he not touch there? That's so sad for Cosolix. He was going on Yomi layer like number 19 of mix-up, and he still couldn't get back to the stage.
He actually did around the world on Demon Island there.
That was wild.
It almost made it back. The power of Lance, ladies and gentlemen. But no, Cosolix on the Macho Man now down a stock against Phazon after that amazing neutral sig into what was a super extended edge guard. And I know you were talking about Scythe off stage on Demon Island, how it looks good, but gauntlets are just as good here. And Phazon is really showing he had the potential there. Neutral like catches Cosolix dashing forward. And he's starting to get a lot more extra credit here in game number 2 after Cosolix had such a strong game 1.
Oh man, that's what I like to see. I think that sword is going to prove extremely useful as well, just because, you know, Ensig, it goes crazy on Val. You know, they nerfed it a little bit. It's still exceptionally good, but he's not even going to get a chance to use it because he gets clean hit by a Sarah right there, going to get knocked out. And then Cosolix opting to go for the axe. Nope, just kidding. But he got sniped on the weapon throw, or weapon spawn rather.
Now the weapon spawn comes through. Cosolix jumps towards it, tries to get a dodge in. Read, sideline down air. So nice from Cosolix. D-Light tries to go through. Weapon throw forward and Phazon. That lead is starting to disappear. He's getting the hits in. Macho Man pretty beefy though. Nicely done with the punish. Sidelight down, the air, neutral light onto Phazon. Will bring him into deep or deep yellow-ish. Just get hit again so I can say orange.
Oh, okay. Almost got caught by that ground pound. You know, had my heart skipped a beat for a second there, but it wasn't going to be the death of him. But despite that, this is actually a much closer game than it feels like with that NSIG that we were talking about before, just a little bit earlier, of how good it is as an anti-air, and especially if someone tries to dodge high but through you, you can catch them with it. Yeah, it lost, like a few patches ago, it lost a little bit of how easy it was to connect, but the power and when it connects is still just as good. And now Cosolix with the axe hits the cider. Oh man, he's really good at getting the edge guards with ciders here. Recovery. Oh. Yeah. Beautiful. And this is interesting because it's become sort of a meta style of edge guarding in North America, where I feel like you get your strong hit, you go for your weapon throw afterwards, and you do the 50-50 of whether they went up or they did the dive kick. But Cosolix has not really opted for that style of play. He's been babysitting specifically with the siders on both of his weapons, and then if they dodge one, he gets the recovery on the way back. And it's so good because with the way that he plays, like he's always looking to read jumps, right? Like, are you going to jump right now? Boom, I'm a Saryu. Doesn't matter which weapon I'm on, I'm a Saryu, and it will likely lead to a KO or better positioning. And just like that, boom, clean three-piece. Tried to read a jump right there with that NSIG, but didn't quite find the mark. It's going to be a close game, Tyler. I hope Phazon can put one on the board.
I hope so too, because I don't want to see another 3-0 after how sick that matchup was with Boomy and Radish, but Cosolix could bring this to a 2-0 lead. At this rate, Phazon had such a strong start. No recovery, disarmed, weapon toss goes all the way up. Cosolix tries to cover Phazon, ducking underneath the lance, weapon throw. Phazon gets a D-Light, but he wants the weapon pickup. He doesn't want the follow-up, and Cosolix with the axe goes for a dash jump pivot. Sair, one cider means it's almost a guaranteed knockout. Oh, it's so close, but Cosolix is so good with these edge guards.
He didn't line it up quite right, though, so Phazon's going to get a second chance at life. And we're going to see one more save from Cosolix. A recovery from Phazon might be able to do it if it's high enough. He's throwing out all these KO options, but Phazon's not getting hit.
Oh, he gets the D-Light recovery, but he needs a lot more than that. Oh, the neutral sig misses, and Cosolix misses a recovery. Cosolix is fishing for a few too many recoveries. Side air goes right over Phazon's head. The weapon throw stops the neutral sig. The recovery's not enough. It's Demon Island. One more sort of recovery would do it. Cosolix and Phazon are both one hit away from making this a game. Whatever the game is going to be, that it. Recovery gets it, and Phazon just barely secures the game. The damage done was literally equal until that sword recovery. Because it hits, it gets a knockout. It's now 540 to 520. Otherwise, I feel like, I don't know if sword recovery is exactly 20, but I'm going to guess that it's around there. It was close, is what I'm trying to say. Cosolix made that comeback look so possible. Holy cow.
Oh, man, dude. I was sweating. Especially, there was a moment there where I think Phazon went for a sword D-Light and Cosolix went for an N-Light on Axe. And there's an interaction that happens. It's not often, but Axe N-Light has the little hop on it.
So the down-light doesn't actually hit. That's funny because when we were watching... it's a totally off-topic tangent, but the same reason why when we were watching Acno play Yumiko, the hop allowed him to jump into the wisps when he was using the down sigs and the neutral sigs on hammer and bow. So it's the same kind of case that you're talking about right there, because the movement's not just for show. Your character's hurtbox is actually moving with the axe neutral light, so you can jump over a sword downlight, and yeah, it can be pretty terrifying. Look at how close that was at the very end there.
Oh man,
holy cow.
0 unarmed damage from Cosolix, so he was pretty much strapped up the entire time, or if he didn't have a weapon, he wasn't swinging too much. We actually did see one moment where he went for a rocket lance weapon throw straight down, did a gravity cancel unarmed N-Light, and it just whiffed. A lot of the time, like, that's a...
What is this matchup? Okay. So this makes sense. Cosolix has always been a player that rotates his Lance Legends, and he does it between Macho Man, Scarlet, and Sir Roland, and that's something that I'm pretty used to seeing, so I can understand why he did this. But this is interesting. Phazon now, here on the Akuma, for this game, switched up the skin a little bit, and now we've got, opening up with a sword. It's not looking so great, but he could switch over to the gauntlets in just a little bit. Cosolix now, the primary difference here is that he's gone from axe to hammer, and his signatures are a little bit more aggressive to players that are trying to recover than Macho Man's are.
Yeah, which I'm like, all right, you can do that. That's a Scarlet classic.
I think he just scared Phazon off. No, Phazon only used his falling in. Oh, whoa. I thought Cosolix missed.
Gets the side sig, and of course, Val's side signature has that special property where once you do it over the lip of the stage, she does a little flip, and the slice is perfect for spiking your opponents, and that's what we saw Phazon get right there. Of course, Akuma, the skin here, looking so good. The team did such a great job with this one, man.
I had to remind myself that it is still Val, right? It feels like it, but yeah, all the moves are still the same, but the side sig catches the land. Cosolix using that side sig the same way he did with Macho Man side sig on Lance, where he is not catching somebody that's already on the ground, he's catching somebody landing in front of him.
And that's the way to do it. You just have to make sure that you get the timing right, because that's the entire mix-up of Brawlhalla. Do they jump one more time? Do they dodge up before they touch the ground? And Cosolix has been able to just count his opponent's resources to great avail. Double set, 3, 4, you can get 4! He's trying to hit him with the count from Sesame Street, bro. Come on, 1, 2. Oh, he gets
still edge guarding here. Grab had to come through.
Oh, he can't get it in time. He almost had it.
Cosolix is still in recovery mode. Puts out the down stick. The steam does not connect. He gets the neutral, but Phazon got every single panic jump out of Cosolix there with the gauntlet side airs. That's something that, I mean, God, you don't get to see that very often.
Yeah, that's facts.
Maybe fighting against bots. I don't know. Like, listen, it's at a certain point in pro play, the bad option can sometimes become the good mix-up.
Yeah, we were talking about it. Me and Ajax were saying this earlier. There's no mix-up. Like, there's no way he's gonna do the same thing 4 times in a row, right? And that's right. He only did it 3, and that's where Phazon got mixed up.
Through
but
rock
despite
and
that,
paper 7 million times in one sitting. Like, sometimes that just happens. And
that's a big punish from Phazon.
It took really that long for that edge guard that Phazon started with the triple gauntlet side air to capitalize into a stock lead for him. Cosolix made it back, did a very good job holding on to that stock, but now Phazon is looking to make it match. I was ready for that to knock out. That was such a great neutral sig.
And sometimes it just depends on where Scarlet hits it as well. Will determine kind of which direction the opponent gets sent flying. So hit him a little bit from the side, so he had a little bit more room to avoid the kill box, but Cosolix is still just one clean hit away. Might throw out that down sig we saw him do a little bit earlier. He's a big fan of the end sig as well. If he catches Phazon jumping, or just a Sayer, because, you know, Scarlet has the force of a truck. So
what Cosolix just said there is incredibly difficult to me. He basically had to make 4 plays where all of them he expected the move to knock out, and then he was like, oh, I have to win an incredibly difficult neutral reaction like that again. But he did manage to get it work with that side air, and now Phazon is in a one-stock situation with Cosolix with a small lead, but Cosolix is really starting to extend that. Oh, I thought he was going to pick it up off the weapon throw, but Phazon steals the gauntlets away from him.
And Cosolix managed to go ahead and grab that rocket lance. We're going to see if he's going to be able to close one out. We see Phazon goes for the Raging Demon. It's not quite going to be able to connect, but we're going to see if the power of the Satsui no Hado is enough to carry him to a 2-1 victory here as Cosolix is trying to hang on. We haven't seen too much of this hammer, to be honest, but a stomp Sayer, yeah, that's pretty classic hammer.
Oh, the neutral light, gravity canceled, catches Cosolix in midair. Cosolix goes all the way back, that's a punish. Oh, but he slide charges the neutral so he doesn't pivot it. I heard him starting a signature there. I don't think he gravity canceled it, but the double slider is going to be it for Cosolix, I believe. Yeah, that's it. Cosolix tries to make it back, but can't. And Phazon takes game number 3 to bring it to match point with a lead. And wow, I mean, talk about success with the gauntlet side airs there on both sides of the stage. There was the second stock at the end there. He just did a double side air edge guard, and Cosolix just couldn't make it back. Jumping into a lot of those, Phazon's doing a great job on Akuma.
And that's what I love as well, because I mean, every time Phazon's on the screen, I'm like, this guy's the best player off stage, and I still believe that. I think players like Java have also found a flowchart specifically with Hammer to show like how good that weapon can be off stage, but I still think Phazon, no matter what weapon he's playing, he's going to be the one to pressure you the most off stage, and we saw he was able to catch Cosolix slipping quite a few times.
Which is why Cosolix has to find a way to get as little of off stage to exist as possible. That's why,
especially with Rocket Lance, man.
Yeah, it's like because Mammoth Fortress, I saw on that second stock there with how much longer that graphic extended for Phazon compared to Cosolix. He could not knock him out just because he's got so many of. He might have a lot of those instincts for every other map on the stage, but Mammoth Fortress is one of the biggest blast zones in the 1v1 map pool. And so now we're on Miami Dome, where we're not going to be able to see that round the world that Cosolix did on Demon Island because there is a giant pillar standing in the way. but Cosolix might be able to get some knockouts a little bit earlier, but if Phazon keeps playing this way, it's going to be a 3-1. And Cosolix, who we were just singing the praises of in game number 1, could go down pretty quickly to Phazon here in game 4.
These guys are constantly making me just like hold my breath with the plays that they're going for. And the double recovery is not enough, but Cosolix almost blinked his stock goodbye as Phazon is pressuring so well. I knew I could feel the setup for the NSIG there with the way that he was dashing back on those platforms. He was like, which way is Cosolix going to drift with his landing? I'm going to catch him with the NSIG, and he was successful. And boom, the nice slice to go ahead and secure that first stop.
Yeah, that's the second time we've seen him get that side sig with the Kuba. If you use that side sig off the ledge, you will dip down rather than attacking straight forward in the dash. You hit into a wall, has different properties too, but Phazon going all the way in with that neutral signature. Cosolix trying to catch the landing, but Phazon jumps behind him, gets to punish the neutral sig. Another one, his delay recovery goes all the way up the chase dot. I don't even blame him. I don't blame him. That was, how sick would it have been if Cosolix was off the top of the orange. But Cosolix, great wake-up recovery there. Saw Phazon literally travel at the speed of light with a chase dot. He goes like, what are you doing over there?
He's like, all right, hold on, slow down just a little bit. Like, I understand you're feeling pretty confident because you hit me a couple times, but don't let it get to your head. And Cosolix is gonna go ahead and try to bring this back. I respect the swap back to the Macho Man because I don't think the hammer on the Scarlet really did much for him at all. So going back to the axe, we saw him have some prowess with that earlier today, and you know, so far it's working out okay. Can he bring back this game though? He's behind by so much.
Yeah, it's looking rough for Cosolix. He's putting out a few nairs, sidelight down air, punishing, gets another down air through, tries to go for that down line, but Phazon waits it out, runs straight in. Cosolix is getting hits through. Dodge was gone for Phazon for a little bit, and Phazon, really tough position he just put himself in. Nice. Recovery hits him, he's still sweating.
Okay, Phazon, what do you do here? You had quite a bit of a lead, and now it's been stripped away from you. Yeah, he can't get anything.
Oh, another Sair hits. He has to go all the way up. Down sig, ground pound, recall.
Oh, Phazon. He hit him too?
He holds the wall, stares him straight in the face, and goes, this was a mistake. Gets hit. Oh, man. Phazon. He takes the stock, but that was a situation where he was in yellow when Cosolix was in red before the end of that stock.
No, that's fact. I mean, he let Cosolix rack up so much damage. I mean, that was the question I was posing to viewers and myself. Like, will he be able to bring it back? The answer was yes. Cosolix, he's like, I need a weapon. And then, like, if I got this Rocket Lance, I don't know if for Sair will kill maybe in the corner, but definitely if he gets a sidelight, like, recovery setup. Oh, down sig. I love it.
The fifth one will work.
Maybe an Endlight?
Oh, Endlight would be pretty good here. The downlight would be the craziest mix-up for me, and then he tries to get the dodge afterwards. But he's putting out the recoveries, and nice. The second one hits, and Phazon not ready for it. That was really solid pressure from Cosolix. A lot of whiffed moves, but not a single time did Phazon have a window to do anything about it.
And that's the thing about like having gauntlets while being on a platform like that. That's why it's so much easier for Cosolix to throw out those recoveries, because he's like, what are you going to punish me with? And he was able to go ahead and bring the game back. Oh, this could be it right here. Can he make it back? He doesn't have a lot. He gets hit by the ground pound. He got
touches the stage. He gets hit with a weapon throw. That's it. Wait, he touched?
He had another one, but it doesn't matter. Phazon is too good off stage. We've seen it proven yet again, Taza.
Yep. I absolutely agree with you. And I could even, like when you said, I trust you completely that you've been saying this forever, because I'm pretty sure when I first casted with you like years ago, it was the same conversation that we were having. With Phazon's off stage, he looks like the best player in the world. And it is showing up here. And it's so interesting to me that even though Phazon has been crushing it with the Mordex against every single person that we've seen on stream today, when he goes back against Cosolix, he's kind of like, oh yeah, I know this matchup. I got to go back to Val. This is what I always used to play against Cosolix with.
And it's like one of those weapons too, where like for a lot of people they're always like, oh, gauntlets into Rocket Lance, like that's generally considered a tough matchup for a lot of people on the gauntlet side. But you know, for Phazon, he just knows his way in and around the hitbox of the weapon. Let's get a replay.
This
see right here.
Guard was so
gets a ground pound, and I can't believe Phazon was even able to recognize that Cosolix touched as many times as he did. I thought so many times that Cosolix did, like right there. I don't know how.
This was a huge Miami Dome buff, not being able to go under the stage there too. Hey, honestly.